In this video, I'm going to talk about how to make things appear and disappear in your animation, and also how to use the same technique on the camera to make it look like the camera is cutting to a different scene. Okay, so first of all, to make things appear and disappear. So the technique is basically you're going to make a keyframe at a certain spot. So right now I'm at 333. So I'm going to go ahead and keyframe this robot here. And then in the very next frame, I'm going to do something that makes him not be here. In this case, it's easy just to move him down below my plane. I could also just move him very far off in space, although sometimes, depending on your camera angle, you can see pretty far. So it's nice if you have something to hide the object behind. That works really well. If I zoom in either here or on my robot, get those out of the way, and it's at 3 something something. So if I zoom in on that, you can tell that I have 333 and 334 are adjacent keyframes. So when I play my animation, I'll just play a little bit of it. When I get to that keyframe, it looks like he disappears because there are no frames in between those two locations for him. So there's nothing going on in between there. He just is here, is here at one point and then he's down below at the next exact frame. When we talk about rendering our frames, it'll make a little bit more sense what's going on because each frame here is literally a picture of the scene. So at 333, there's a picture of the scene right there. And then at 334, there's another picture of a scene, but I have moved that robot out of the way and now he can't be seen. You can do the same thing or a similar thing with the camera. I'm going to go ahead and find my camera here. There it is. I just hit, I right-clicked on camera and said select. And then once the camera was selected, I hit the decimal key on the number pad to figure out where it is. Sometimes the camera can be kind of hard to find. You can also scale the camera using S. Oopsie, my camera is acting weird. There we go. Not sure what else, something else had been selected. So if I want to do a cut scene for this, let's just go back a ways here and get some interesting action. So my robot's over here, and maybe okay, let me get my robot here. Okay, so I have my robot. Maybe I want to have a close-up on his face, and then cut away to a faraway view. Or maybe I have some action going on over here, so I want to watch the robot and then cut immediately over here to this action, which is not actually happening, but it could be. So what I can do is line up my camera, and I really like to use top ortho to just move the camera where I want it to get it just in the general area where it should work, and then rotate it toward whatever I want to look at. It's pretty close, something like that. And then I'll use 0, oh, not bad, to find that. And then I talk in another video about what I'm doing right now to recenter that. So that's one keyframe for my camera right now. So I have set a keyframe for my camera where I am, which is, where am I? Right here. And then at the very next keyframe, so 107, I am going to pretend like, I don't know, maybe there's some action over here in the hills that I want to look at. So I'm at the very next keyframe. I'm going to take my camera view. Let me try a Control-Alt-0 and see how that works. I'm going to try centering my camera over here with a Control-Alt-0. Not bad. And I'm just going to go with that. I have not actually made a keyframe yet. I need to, there's there's a couple ways to do it. You can just slightly move your camera, or you can do eye. I've talked about this in a different video, and then choose low-growth scale. Okay, and now I have my two keyframes right next to each other, so let's look at how that looks through the camera view. So if you're not in camera view, and you want to see what's going to happen with your camera, you can hit 0 on your number pad, and that gives you what the camera sees. Ignore everything that's outside of it. If there's action happening out here, you cannot see it in the finished movie. So let me go back a little ways. Whoops. And hit play. Whew, okay, that was a little fast. I have my camera was not set up before the robot, so it's not really following anything. So it sees the robot for a second and then it cuts away really fast, but it's hard to see. But anyway, that's the technique. So I would need to clean that up and make that a little bit more visible. So keyframe right next to each other. That is what makes instant action happen, whether it's objects or camera. You have to be careful if you scale your keyframes after that. Make sure that those instant changes are still right next to each other keyframe-wise. It could be that if you scale it too much, there could be some keyframes added in between, and you might have to move one of your keyframes closer to the other.